What is up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back. You're watching Dallas Cowboys Uncensored. I'm your co-host, Eric Berger. With me, as always, Charlie Moffitt. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. How you doing, bud?
Good. Let's jump right into it. We've got a few topics for everybody. Let me get this banner rolling so I remember what the hell we're talking about here. Let's jump right into it, man. Pitt's at 10. Tell me why.
Because it's the best pick possible. Wasn't expecting that question so quick.
Jumped in quick.
I don't see how, if he's at 10, I don't see how he's not your best. He's not BPA. And I don't see how he's not, I guess maybe if Sewell's there, I can see how he's not clearly the best BPA, but still.
Those are the two guys, at least for our board, that should be those top tier, and then everybody else, right?
Right.
The reason I wanted him is because of our struggles in the red zone last year. And I brought up a bunch of Pro Football Reference using their stat lines and everything. I brought up, let's see here, sorry, it's going to take me a second. Snap counts. There we go. Actually, we don't have to get into this just yet. This is going to come later. But this is our snap counts for basically our weapons last year. First, let's pull up Coop. So I'm going to come back to these and use these later on when we talk about having multiple weapons, when we want to talk about having all weapons on the field at the same time for as much time as possible. But right now, let's talk about how he helps in the red zone. So looking at Cooper's snaps here, all 16 games. When you look at his targets and receptions and his touchdowns in the red zone, we'll say inside the 20, right? Because it only goes to the 20 here. What's that bottom number? Let me get this dang banner off of here. Come on, man. Okay. So 14 targets, 4 catches, 3 touchdowns. That's in the red zone. That's Coop. That's your wide receiver 1. 3 red zone touchdowns. Let's roll over to Gallup on the other side. Same thing. 3 red zone touchdowns. Let's look at Lamb. 2. He got 2. And we can throw up, let's throw up Schultz. So right now we're at 8. Schultz got 3 of them. We already did Gallup. Here's Zeke. Zeke receiving in the red zone. He got 2 of them. One of the big things that people talk about solving those red zone issues is Zeke, right? That's the number one answer. Feed Zeke, feed Zeke, feed Zeke. Well, let's look at his numbers in the red zone.
Dak's a better runner in the red zone than
exactly.
Zeke is.
Not only that, but
in fact, Dak's a better runner. I don't have it, and I should have looked it up. But he's top in the NFL when it comes. He's better in the red zone than Jackson, Lamar Jackson.
Right. And not only that, but he opens up everybody in the red zone. So let's look at Zeke's touchdowns rushing in the red zone. So inside the 20, he had 6 touchdowns. 5 of those came when Dak was on the field. He didn't get another touchdown in the red zone until week 16, the last game of the season.
That's funny because I thought Dak needed Zeke.
That's one of the.
That's what I've been told now since 2016.
Yeah, we've been told that for. Right, so okay, feed Zeke. That's not your champion there. Let's roll over to Pollard. He had 1 receiving and 2 rushing. But again, one of those rushing came from when Dak was in there. So we're at receiving touchdowns, maybe 12, 13 total with every weapon that we have from last year coming back. I looked it up. I went and watched the film for I went and watched last year's film for Pitts. He had 12 total touchdowns. 10 of those were inside the red zone. I think 8 or 9 of those 10 were inside the end zone. That's what
And not one drop.
0, no drops.
Not a fucking drop. That's impressive. I mean, I don't care who you are. That's
8 games.
Who was it? Wasn't it D-Hop a couple years ago? Went the whole season without a drop. Was it D-Hop? Or one drop or some crazy shit like that. I think it was D-Hop. But yeah, that is crazy.
Certainly wasn't any of the Cowboys receivers.
No, hell, we got a case of the drop season on us.
A lot of body catchers. Another thing that Pitts isn't. Okay, I'm good. I'm good with the red zone. I'm good. That's my.
Yeah, I think some of the red zone, of course, will get better just from Dak being back. Because I mean, some of that just because.
Sure, it's some of the run games
against the Red Rifle, but he just wasn't. There wasn't no chance of him running, so he takes that shit out. You know, Dak puts that shit in, and just plain and simple, Dak's just a far superior quarterback than Andy Dalton is.
Right.
So but no, I agree with you. I'm just saying some of that would just naturally go up with Dak being back. But if you add Pitts, I don't see. I can't say there's not a logical argument against Pitts because people do make a fair argument, and I get it. But it's just I don't see how you pass up on that. I don't see how you do it.
The number one thing is history at the position drafting so high. That's not his fault.
Well,
that's not our fault.
This is where I disagree with people on that because they like to bring up all the other people that have the same measurables and shit, and that they was overhyped just like Pitts. My answer to that is no, they fucking were not. They were not hyped like this. Not by the fans, not by media, not by analysts. Nobody was saying the same things about them guys as they are here. And if you look at their weaknesses on their draft profiles, there's a huge difference.
Yeah.
most, not all, but most of Pitts' weaknesses are from the blocking game and from his size. Wanting to add more weight, needed a bigger frame, not good at point of attack.
But again, that's fitting a square peg in a round hole because he's not a blocking tight end.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the few. You'll get a few of them that will tell you. I saw one where he's not good in and out of breaks. You know, on short, not quickness, and his shuttle, his 3-cone and stuff showed that he's not. I mean, he's not quick like that. But if you look at the other draft profiles of the people he compared him to, there was a bunch of weaknesses. Wasn't O.J. Howard. It was the other one that came out that did get some hype.
Yeah, they said that his catching was potential. You're as a receiver, his potential, his catching
that was a hype on
the hype. It wasn't seen.
Yes, their hype on them was their freak athleticism.
Maybe he could turn into some kind of
Yeah, they're high, their weight, they're 40, they're vertical, and you can get all that. Coaches love that. If we get him here, we can teach him. That was the hype on them. The hype on Pitts is he's done it. There is film
already done it,
showing that he can do it. There is no I don't know if he can. But he's a freak athlete. So let's give him a try. He's a freak athlete, and he's done it. And like I said, I can't remember who the other guy's name. A few years ago.
Maybe Cleveland.
No, I can't remember who it was. My mind just
Butler, Arizona.
I don't know, but one of his. I was looking up their draft profiles, and one of them he's a body catcher. He had a bunch of drops in college. I mean, it's different stuff like that you see with them other guys that you don't see on Pitts any draft profile of his weaknesses because he just, as far as a catching tight end, he really has no weaknesses. His weaknesses mainly is his size and being able to sustain blocks. And to be honest with you, I don't give a shit if he can block or not. I'd give 2 shits less. We just signed that guy from Washington. That's going to be basically our blocking tight end. He's there to take Bell's place.
If he beats out.
Yeah, if he even makes it. Yeah. So I'm not worried about a blocking tight end. That's the least of my worries. We should have a top 5 O-line again. We have Schultz that is a good blocking tight end. Not great, but he's a good blocking tight end.
He's good at both.
Jarman that everybody, when Witten was here, last year Witten was here, was telling me that Witten played more because he could block, but nothing about that said that. No. Jarman, when he was on the field in 2019, blocked more than Witten did when Witten was on the field. He had a higher percentage of blocking than Witten did. And my question was, if Witten was a superior blocker to Jarwin, then why aren't they using Jarwin more as a blocker than they are Witten? It's because he wasn't as bad as people made him out to be. He wasn't horrible. Was he as good as Witten? No, but Witten was as good as he was in previous years. He wasn't great at blocking either his last year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Jarwin's good enough. Schultz is good. Guy that's going to take Bell's place.
It's still a position of need no matter how you look at it. Jarwin is coming back from ACL. Schultz is on his contract year. And you've got McKeon and Sprinkle.
But that's
tight end is a need.
People who say this makes sense. People look at need as this year need and not next year need.
Right.
I mean, what you might not need right now might be a need next year.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like wide receiver last year. Everybody like that's not a need. Well, yeah, technically it was a need. I mean that because Gallup was coming into his third year, which meant he was either going to be up for a contract, we sign him or trade him. That's a whole nother subject. You know, so yeah, it was a need. I mean, right now when Gallup leaves, and he will leave unless they let Trey Cooper and keep Gallup, whatever, we're going to be down in receiver. And having Lamb is a good thing that we had him. Good thing we drafted him.
Right.
Because he can just step right into the number one spot and we lose nothing.
I'm with you. You also have to look at, going back to Pitts, you have to, when you're comparing to these guys that were drafted first round, you have to look at the situation these guys were going to. Most of the time, if you're picking high in the first round, that's a crap team. Usually they don't have a quarterback. But if they do have a quarterback, let's say they do, it's still not a great team. So you're looking at Pitts at 10. Damn, lost my train of thought. That's terrible.
Have one of them brain farts.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. It usually is a bad team. But like I said,
I'm sorry. I remember now.
Oh, go ahead.
So Trask is your quarterback. He can come to a guy that can throw him the ball. So Trask is trash, basically. He's 6, 7, 8 quarterback in this draft. He's definitely not a first rounder, in my opinion. But why Kyle Pitts has the highlight video he does because of Kyle Trask. You see his catch radius because of where the ball is thrown every time. He's catching it over here, he's up top, he's over, he comes back. Everything you want in a pass catcher, he can do. So him coming to a better situation versus these guys that a lot of people bring up in the past, it doesn't make sense to me to make that
to
argument.
me, they're not comparable. Like I said, people want to post and talk about how there's 5 tight ends that had his same measurables and got the same hype. No, there's multiple tight ends coming out that had his measurables. None of them got this hype. None of them got this hype, and they didn't get this hype because they had not done on the football field what he had done on the football field. They was all projections. You know, if there was a bunch of ifs, if a coach can get him, and if he can go in the right system, if they'll utilize him the right way. Doesn't matter. Kyle Pitts doesn't matter. Just put him in the system. Yeah. And now you, of course, with any other wide receiver tight end, you do have to throw him the ball. But other than that, that's all you got to do. Just throw him the damn ball. You can put him at X wide receiver. You can put him in the slot. You put him in tight end. It doesn't matter where you put him.
Yeah, he can actually play in line. If you really need it, he can play in line.
He can play anywhere. It does not matter. These guys don't come along often. Contrary to what some people think, they do not come along often. These guys with these measurables, yes. But that's the thing. All first-round draft picks, all guys who is 6'5", weigh 240, run a 4.40, have an 83-inch wingspan, they're all going to get hyped just because they're freaks, you know. But he's done it. That's the difference. He's actually done it. Them guys, I will argue with anybody, they do not have the film that Kyle Pitts has. None of them had the film that Kyle Pitts had.
Right.
None of them.
And
but they do have the measurables.
I've asked you this before. Would you trade up for him?
No. No, but that's.
But let me break this down.
But you know me for long enough to know I hate fucking trade ups. I don't like them. It's just because once you trade up, you are giving up another pick. So you are basically spending 2 picks on that guy.
I got you.
Even though I'm as confident as I am as Kyle Pitts, I just don't want to give. And this is another thing is, my whole argument with taking Kyle Pitts versus other people who say, well, we got to fix the defense is we can still fix the defense. We still have 9 more picks to do something. Well, if we give up another pick, we're kind of going against what I'm saying. Yeah, now it makes it tougher to fix the defense, and we do need to fix the defense. You know, I don't think one player is going to make a difference, but 2 can. I mean, if you take Pitts, that's one player you're not taking. Then if you trade up, you're giving up another player. So that's 2 quality defensive players you just gave up, and that I'm not for, or possible quality.
Possible. So let's check that out. Let's check those numbers because I think this is the Jimmy Johnson draft chart. Yeah, it's kind of small. So if you're watching, I don't know if you can see it, and if you're just listening.
Oh, my blind fucking ass can't see it either.
I'll try to explain what I'm talking about.
I got it somewhat memorized. At least the first 10 picks I do. I've looked at it so much.
So from let's go. 4 is probably the no go.
Can't hear you, buddy.
There we go. Sorry.
There we go.
So, let's go back to this. Falcons are going to be our first opportunity, right? And they're shopping their pick. You're looking at 1,800 value, and this chart is just a guideline. This isn't, GMs aren't in their offices with their little, chart like, oh no, I can't do that because it's not enough points or whatever, Jimmy Johnson, this and that. This is just a guideline. So and history shows that in these trades you actually get less value for your trade than it doesn't cost as much, is what I'm trying to say, as this chart would lead you to believe. And there's a lot of examples why or for that. So from 10 to 4, that is 1,300, 1,800, 500 points. So you're probably looking at 10, 44, and maybe 99 would be kind of steep. You could get there at 138 or 135, whichever one you have. One of those 4th round picks. So your 2nd, your 3rd, and a 4th round pick. Sounds like way too much. But let's say he falls to 7 or 8. And we're looking at, that's Detroit and Carolina, I think?
Yeah, Carolina's at 8, Detroit's at 7.
Let's say he falls to 7 or 8. And then you're looking at a matter of 100 points, 200 points at 7, 100 points at 8. So you're looking at one third round pick, we have 2, or 1 4th round pick, we have 2.
You'd have to ask me on the day of the draft.
yeah. So let's get the clock going, right?
Yeah,
if that is
you'll
your
see
guy,
we're going live on the draft. If we do that, then you'll see my natural reaction to it. Once I see it, because I don't know. Because that doesn't sound bad. It's just, but I go back to what I've always said, and this is just me, my opinion, and I've always been this way. I don't like trade ups. I never have. I like Dez. I was all for the Dez trade up. That did not bother me one bit. D-Law, I was on the fence, and that's turned out pretty well. I mean, he's been good. I don't have no complaints. But Mo
killed it for you.
Mo, I was totally against it, and that turned out to be correct. Trying to think of any other trade ups that we did.
I always find myself defending Mo, man. We took him from a press man. Offensive scheme and put him in freaking zone defense.
Yeah, but usually guys like that
for Carr.
Yeah, but he sucked when he left too.
Carr didn't. Carr went and got him a couple picks. I think he had a touchdown last year.
Carr didn't suck when he was here. That's my whole fucking point on anybody. He was good here. It's just,
he was
and like I tell everybody, when you get paid what he got paid in free agency, people are expecting Deion Sanders. That's what they want. I mean this is another reason why I'm not big on spending a bunch of money in free agency, especially on one player. You are going to overpay in free agency. Did we overpay for Carr? Yes, but that's what the fuck you do in free agency.
Yeah.
That's why players want to get to free agency, because once you get there, you have multiple teams bidding on you. When you sign with your own team, there's only one team. What's up, Mr. Mendoza?
What up, E? Appreciate
But yeah, so no,
jumping in.
that's why I don't. You naturally overpay in free agency. Maybe not. We don't because we wait till the fourth and fifth wave. But the first wave or two, you're going to overpay. That's part of free agency. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
You know. So yes, we did overpay for Carr, but that's what we had to pay him to get him. And at the time, I was okay with it. I was like, we need him, and I always thought he played well. You know, not everybody agreed with me. I never was one of them guys that didn't like Carr. I always, was he great? No, but he was good. You know, I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with Megatron fucking destroying him in that one game for whatever 9,000 yards he got in one game, and I think that gets in people's head. And once you mess up, especially inside your own fan base, once you have a bad game or even worse, a bad year, it's like almost unforgivable. It's just like you suck. No matter what you do for the rest of your career, you suck. And I think that's what happened to Carr. I'll give you an example. During the Green Bay game, the playoffs, I was at Hooters, 2014 Dez catch no catch game. It was Carr's first completion. I think it was like a 10-yard pass. That's all it was. They played a little out route, 10-yard pass, no big deal. The whole goddamn restaurant blew up. Guys beside me started yelling, "God, he fucking sucks. That one, you get him off the team." I'm like, holy shit, dude! It's the first quarter. It's one pass attempt, but that's how people treat him. He could not give up a pass. If he gave up one 10-yard pass, he got destroyed for it. And that's just people highly overreacted to how bad he was because he wasn't bad. Like I said, he wasn't great. And I mean, we can argue over the $50 million, but I say again, that's what you have to do in free agency. So if you like to be active in free agency, just know you're overpaying for some players. And not only do they have to live up to what you think, they better live up to more because they just got paid a shitload of money over what they would have got paid if they would have signed with their own team.
Wasn't the OBJ catch on him too?
Yeah, yes, it was.
Fuck.
But in his defense, I don't give a fuck who you are. That was just a badass catch. I don't put that on Carr. And plus, I always said OBJ kind of pushed off too. If you rewatch, I mean, it wasn't that. I wasn't calling for a flag. You know how I'm about refs. I'm not hard on refs either, like other people are. But I mean, when he turned, he did push. But either way, I didn't put that on Carr. I was just like, holy shit. I mean, it's embarrassing because every time it shows, it's Carr in the highlight reel. Low light for him. But that was just a badass catch. You got to give it to OBJ for that one. I remember me and Steven, my ex-brother-in-law, we was watching that game together, and we both kind of like raised up, and we looked, like, did he just fucking catch that? And they showed the replay. I was like, holy shit. Steven's younger. He's like, that's the best catch I've ever seen. And I was like, I have to wait a minute and let this kind of digest before I can say that. But yeah, it's one of the best catches I've ever seen. It was pretty amazing.
He is.
I hated the Giants. I don't like the Giants, and I dislike OBJ more than I do the Giants. I'm not a big fan of his.
Mendoza says his team still lost the game, man. You're right.
Oh, is he a Giant fan?
No. He's Cowboys.
Oh,
he's just he's a Carr apologist, I'm assuming.
No. I thought he meant his team. The Giants still lost the game.
Definitely a sick catch, though. Yeah, we're with you. All right.
No, it was a good catch.
Let's jump into why weapon over protection over defender at 10. And I've got to go back and bring up all them deals again, but give me an explanation of why you think it's an offensive pick at 10.
Well, mostly because of the defensive players in this draft.
Right.
I mean, because when I'm talking about going Pitts, going, maybe offense somewhere, wide receiver.
Because there's so much, they're ranked so much higher.
It's just there's so much more value in them than there is. It's not like I don't like Patrick Surtain. It's not that I don't like Horn. I just don't like him at 10.
Right.
If we traded back, if we got a trade back and we drafted at 15, 20, 23, whatever, I'm good with it. If they was to drop that far. I don't see Surtain and Horn to me, and again, that's just my opinion, or borderline, just borderline top 10. I mean, that's why if we got one of them over somebody else, I wanted a tackle or Pitts, I'd be irritated a little bit, but I'd be okay because it's not like they're just totally horrible and it was a horrible pick. I still think it's a solid pick.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, no, that's mainly. There's other drafts that I wouldn't be. I'd still be for Pitts, but I would like understand. Hey, he's up there with Pitts. He's ranked right there. You know, so you got this badass edge rusher, this badass corner, with this badass tight end. Which one are we going to get? I'd probably pull for the corner just because we need defense. You know, that's when you take BP at a position of need because they're so closely ranked. You got to go with the need over. I mean, because the BPA he's just slightly better than him, but in this case, to me, Pitts is far better than Surtain or Horn that as far as value at that pick.
I think he's top 5 and top 3 non-quarterback in every draft.
I could go with that.
I'm not scared for a division rival to get Patrick Surtain or J.C. Horn. I'm just not.
Oh no, I'm not at all.
So you
like if Giants if we say we draft the Pitts, and fucking then Giants select a Horn, and then Eagles end up taking Surtain, I'm not scared one bit, not one bit. Does that worry me? I'm like, that's fine. But if we draft Surtain, and the Giants was to get Pitts or the Eagles to get Pitts, then I'm like, shit. You know, now we have to deal with that fucker for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
You know.
And granted, they don't have a quarterback, so it doesn't scare me as much. But it still doesn't. It doesn't.
But he don't need a quarterback.
Right.
Them kind of guys don't need a quarterback. Just fucking throw it up. Dude's 83-inch fucking wingspan.
And we have nobody to cover him. Zero. Byron Jones is probably one of the guys I would have listed if you gave me like a list of 5 people that can probably cover Pitts at the next level. Byron would have been one of them.
Yeah, don't get me started on that shit. We let that fucker walk.
Hey, yeah. Well, I don't want to piss you off, but
that was a dumbass move.
My point is, he's good at those big body type receivers. He's locked down Gronk. He locked down Gronk in his rookie year, I think. Yeah, and he was just great at that. Anyways, but here's why I pick weapon over protection for Dak. So. First 5 games, Dak on pace for 6,000 yards, roughly. We're 1-3. Defense is horrible, but we saw decline across the entire. I think there's an easy fix. I'll get to that later for defense. So through those 5 games, we have no Lael Collins at right tackle. And we had Tyron for 2 of those games. Or no, excuse me. All but 2 of those games. No, he was out for...
He was out after the second game, wasn't he?
Yes. No, I think he was... I'd have to look it up real quick. I think we got him for 2 out of the 5 games that Dak played. We had the number 1 offense with essentially backup tackles right off the bat. That's why I go weapons over protection, because weapons will keep you in the game. Now, of course, you want to keep Dak upright, but what I'm saying is you've got a coach in Philbin who now Steele and Knight were terrible to begin with, but man, as the season went on,
he was my coach of the year.
Serviceable.
Yeah, he was my coach of the year. He had to deal with shit. I mean, he had to deal with the 5th and 6th string tackle. Your all-pro right guard ended up fucking losing the season. You went back and forth between a rookie center and a backup center, and nothing against Looney, but he is a backup center. I mean, although he started for us, he's a backup center, and he does. He does a solid job, which is what backup center's supposed to do. You ain't gonna be great, but just don't be bad, And then and by the end of the year, we wasn't bad. Why it made it look so bad? Because we was so fucking bad for so long. At the end of the year, I think people ignored that. Hey, our offensive line wasn't horrible.
It wasn't.
Still wasn't great. I'm not defending them saying that, hey, let's roll out with them again this year. But I'm just saying they wasn't as bad as they was in the beginning of the year. In considering all the shit that they had to deal with, I don't think it was bad at all.
Philbin walking in the building thinking he's got the best job on the fucking planet.
Well, yeah. I mean, you walk in, you have Tyron Smith, which is a top 5 left tackle. Still, I think even with him not being what he used to be, I still think top 5, no worse than top 7. You have Zach Martin, who could be argued the best offensive lineman in the game. You have
he never makes anybody's rankings though, which pisses me the fuck off.
Yeah, you had Collins, who 2017, 18 didn't overly impress me, but in 2019 he fucking was great. Then the center was actually when he walked in the door, he was still Frederick hadn't retired yet, so he was walking in the door thinking he was getting T-Fred too. And then you had Williams, which is the weak point on our offensive line. So yeah, and then by the time he starts the season, that whole offensive line's in shambles, and then by halfway through the year, he has none of them guys. They're all gone, except the starting left guard, which is the weakest spot on the team, or offensive line, that is.
Yeah, I want to say he had 98% offensive snaps.
Who? Williams, Connor?
Connor Williams, yeah.
Yeah, I know, yeah. He never left the game. And he's another one I think is a solid, but I'd like to improve that spot. Yeah. But it goes back to the Doug Free years when everybody was like, replace Doug Free, and I always said, I get it. Would I like to be better at right tackle? Yes. And they're always like, he's the weakest spot, and I told everybody, well, fuck, when you have our offensive line, the fifth one is going to be the weakest spot. I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, it's hard to get up there with them. You had T-Fred, you had Martin, you had Tyron Smith, then, depending on what year it is, your left guard. Well, whoever was the right tackle was going to be the weak link. I mean, because they was all solid. I mean, not just solid, hell, they was all great, or at least good.
Doza asked, do y'all think C. Will could play backup center?
Who?
Connor Williams.
Ah.
I don't know if I want him commanding that offensive line. He doesn't come off as a bright guy, but I could be wrong on that. It's just in interviews and stuff. I don't know. Maybe he's just got dumb face. I don't know. I don't know. I think you have Redmond still on the roster, don't you? And there was another guy that opted out, I think.
Yeah, but you have.
I don't know. Has he ever had snaps? I don't know. I don't know.
But honestly, I'm not worried about center. You got Badass. That's what I call him. Badass. Whatever his last name is.
Badass, and I think Redmond is on the depth chart behind him.
Yeah. Well, you got Looney. The Looney.
Looney's
free. Yeah, he's gone. So you have him as center. I'm just talking about depth wise, but you have him as center. Then you're gonna have Martin back. Then you have Collins back, and you have Smith back, and then Connor's he'll be left guard, and you have McGovern battling for him. Or if Sewell or Slater's drafted, I think both of them become your left guard right off the bat. And the thing about it is, it's a depth that we'll have. We have a lot of experienced depth now. Well, I won't say a lot, but you have good depth now. I mean, because some of them guys, got experience, on the run last year. McGovern. That's another one. Even if we don't draft, that's another one I think will compete for the left guard spot against Williams, and because he played well too. He didn't play horrible in behind Martin. When Martin went down, he had to come in. He played solid.
Yeah.
And that was his first.
Plus, you got Philbin.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not really worried. I mean, right now, I'm not worried about our offensive line. That can change. If Smith goes out again, right away, and Collins' hip isn't what it should be, and his head's not in the right place. Although that picture with Dak, he looked in good shape. I don't like to go on pictures. You know how I am about pictures and people trying to judge shit. We'll get on that shit later about Dak's ankle. But his weight, as far as his weight goes, most time camera adds 10 pounds to you. With me, it looks like it adds 40. But yeah, really, I'm not. I'm really fat, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, he looked thin. I mean, he looked like he was in at least he had lost some weight. It looked like.
Yeah.
But I was like I told people, I'm more worried about his head than I was his hip. Was his head in the game. But as long as he comes back and gets back to his 2019 level, or at least just close enough to it, Martin, I have no worries about Martin. He's not injury prone. This is a one-time thing to me. Then Badass, I loved him at center. In fact, when he was in on ESPN on their win block rate, he was number 1 in NFL on their win block rate. Win block rate. Biadasz was while he was playing.
Yeah.
And then you got Connor, which is solid, but we can always improve on that spot. And then you got, Tyron Smith. Like I said, I still think he's a top 5, no worse than top 7 left tackle in the NFL when he's healthy. That's just the thing, when he's healthy.
And I don't mind. This guy's getting paid
and like we mentioned
15,
on the last,
20th.
yeah, no, he has his contract is just awesome.
Is fantastic right now.
I mean, we restructure that motherfucker all the time, and it's still not an issue. I mean, we can average, because a lot of times when you restructure, the more you restructure, the more it pushes back. That's more dead money. It means when you cut him, it's all going to come. But with him, man, that contract was so fucking friendly. That shit was just, that was a great contract.
Where are y'all
If he got paid now, you mentioned money he would get paid now. Not now because he's older, but if he was in his prime and got another contract, shit.
Yeah.
He'd been rolling.
Mendoza asked, where are you out at wide receiver at 10, especially with since 3 of our wide receivers are on 1-year deals?
Waddle. I'll take Waddle.
It's a great
I'll take
point.
Chase.
Chase?
I don't see Chase dropping like that. I think Pitts has a better chance of dropping than Waddle than Chase does. But yes,
I think so too.
Chase and Waddle, 100%. I'll take them and without even thinking twice about it.
That actually brings up a good point, Mendoza. Let's run back to those charts real quick that I had from Pro Football Reference. Snap count percentage. So these are your averages. Wait, is that right? No, that's Dak. Come on now. These are your weapons last year. These are your average percentage of offensive snaps. Zeke barely hitting 70. Pollard 30. Gallup 87. Coop 82. CeeDee Lamb at 63% of the snaps, and Dalton Schultz at 84% of the snaps. When I bring up weapon, or a lot of people, let's bring up it's a luxury. Now, the run game might eat up some of those percentages, right? Because they're out there for runs too, right? But let's say Coop catches a 40-yard bomb, it happens all the time, and he checks himself out of the game. And now you're down to CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup. It's good. It's not elite anymore. I don't like that. I like having a weapon at all times. How many times has it happened where, especially with Coop, man, he was our wide receiver 1, right? Everybody, I think that's consensus. He's still wide receiver 1. Lamb may have overtaken Gallup, but still Gallup had a good year last year too. Let's go look at Coop's snaps, because, man, first couple of games with Dak, he's up there at 90% of the snaps. And then week 3, Seattle game, he's down to 80%. And then he doesn't hit 90% until the very last game of the year. And he even drops down to 70s, 60s. It's like, come on, man. So when you think about a weapon at 10, this is a guy that comes in, contributes right away, and he's out there for that remainder. He picks up that slack whenever you're missing a weapon for whatever reason. Coop going down to injury. Obviously, formation has a big thing to do with it. But why not have your weapons out on the field at all times? Anyway, so going back.
Yeah. I mean, no, it's that. Which I'm a pass grader and a run person, so I don't give a shit. We can come out, run and shoot. It wouldn't bother me any. So that's just how I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of hard to pass up on a weapon like that. As far as wide receivers go, yes, I'd take a wide receiver. I'd say that Chase and Waddle. I'm not sold on, 170-pound Smith and his fucking toothpick legs.
Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah, he kind of scares me. Yeah, there been Heisman Trophy winners. So
okay, that's true. But the production is there, and he it looks like to me whenever I watch him, because I was like, how did this guy not fold in the wind or snap one of those twig ass legs or something like that? But he's a football player. He falls like a football player. He gets tackled like a football player. You don't ever see him take a hit.
Because he's on Alabama. I kind of have to go with. I mean, fucking Waddle never took a hit.
But he's playing
on
SEC.
Alabama. I mean,
but
still,
Waddle didn't take a hit because he's faster than everybody.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm just saying. I mean, it's just different, I think. But he's just I don't know. That size scary, but I'll tell you this. If he's telling you he weighs 170 pounds, he weighs 160 pounds. Because that's with anything. When you see playing weights, they played at 185. No, they didn't. They played 175.
Yeah.
Hell, they even did it in high school. I weighed 145 pounds playing football, and I was listed as 165. Shit, I wasn't even close to 165 pounds. I wasn't close to 165 pounds until I was almost 20 years old. I wish I was 165 pounds now, but yeah, no. If he's saying he weighs 170 pounds, that tells me he weighs probably closer to 160. And that just just not a lot of 160-pound wide receivers in the NFL, and most of them are like 5'7", 5'8", so they're more compacted and they're not skinny. They're just small. Those small slot receivers. And hell, most of them don't weigh that little. They weigh more than that.
Yeah.
But yeah. But no, as I said, he's the only one I'm not. His skill level doesn't bother me. It's just his size. That's small. That's just. Excuse me. That's just small. But yeah, that's about the only two. Chase and Waddle. That's my two wide receivers. If they was there at 10, hell yeah, I'd take them. And I won't even. I mean, they're like up there with Pitts as far as me wanting one of them.
They're game changers, both of them.
I'll give you an example. If Pitts is gone and Chase is gone, and Waddle's sitting there with Surtain and Horn, I'm wanting Waddle over Surtain and Horn.
I think the O-line can still be good for sure, health pending, absolutely, obviously. But even we saw an entire season, at least 5 games without both of them, or 3 games with one of them, and 2 without both of them, where we were the number 1 offense. So even with the health issues, you got to feel comfortable with O-line, right?
Yes, I'm okay with the O-line. Don't get me wrong. I have concerns with the health that bother me, but I'm not going to go in and go heavy on all the positions on the draft because of that. I think we'll be fine.
I've been coming around on wide receiver lately because of that. I'm assuming that's because of the 1-year deals. So one of those guys is a starter, right? Gallup. So the other 2 are, who is it, Noah and somebody else?
And Wilson,
yeah. So and those type of guys you can get on 1-year deals. Keep going. Just run it back. You can. They're not.
And you can get them guys in 3rd, 4th, and 5th round.
Yeah. Remember last year when Coop and CD, I believe, were off the field and they were pushing Noah. Yeah, he got a bunch of good catches. He was the one that got killed, right?
Yes.
We thought it was Lamb.
I thought it was Lamb at first.
He took a mad shot. Yeah, love Noah, but that's not it. It's not it. Yeah, he's, wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5. If one of those guys comes off the field, yeah, I'll take a Noah.
No, yeah, we're good. I mean, we're 5 deep, but Wilson is what he is. He's a number 4, and I think Wilson probably on some teams could be a number 3.
Yeah.
I think he's that good. But where they're at, we're our number 1 wide receiver is a number 1. Our number 2 is a number 2. I don't know if I called C.D. Lamb a number 3, but last year somewhat, I guess he was, But our number 4, number 5. I mean, our first 3 are lights out. Our top 3 wide receivers are number 1 wide receivers, with Gallup maybe being bottom number 1 wide receiver, top number 2, but still we're solid across them 3. And then Wilson and Brown they are what they are. They're solid number 4, number 5 wide receivers. I mean, there's no teams in NFL that I can think of right off the top of my head that go 5 deep the way we do.
Right.
Maybe Tampa Bay. Maybe. I'm not
Evans, Godwin, the little guy,
white kid.
Slot, yeah.
And then
Gronk.
Whatchamacallit, they re-signed Brown.
That's 5 deep.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. They're about the only one I could say that could go across the board and can match us.
City? Well, no, Sammy's gone.
No, Sammy's. Yeah, no, that's just
Tyreek, Kelsey,
that's
Cole
it.
Hardman.
And Coleman, yeah, but they can't go 5 deep.
No. Okay.
I don't think they can. Somebody can make. I'm sure a Chief fan can make an argument.
Something of like 2,000 yards that didn't go to either one of those guys, so they had to go to somebody.
Yeah.
Definitely viable guys. Gotcha. Yep. What's next, man? Where are we at? So we covered weapons over protection, over defense.
Why Pitts?
Yeah.
Compensatory pick formula.
Let's bring that up. So this is a clip from OTC's website that shows a snippet from the CBA. And let me get this off of here.
The reason it's in question because somebody from CBS wrote an article in March that said that the deadline is April 27th.
Yeah, I actually messed up on Twitter with that.
I'm not saying the guy doesn't have info that I don't have. Maybe he does. But according to the CBA, it's not April 27th. It's the Monday after the draft, which this year would be the 3rd, right? May 3rd?
2nd.
May 2nd.
5-2 is Monday.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Now, if he had, reason I question because April 27th, that was last year's. And last year, it was last year on April 27th, that was the Monday after the draft.
Yeah.
And I looked it up on the CBA just to make sure, and the CBA does say it's the Monday after the draft.
Oh, you're right. It is the 3rd. 5-3.
Okay, there you go. Either way, it's not the 27th, I don't think. Unless he has some information I don't have and he's getting it from somebody, I don't know. But according to the CBA, that's not when it is. Now, it has changed over the years, and I didn't put this up as a layout, but it has changed.
Yeah, this is recent. This is
the new 2020 CBA.
Yeah.
That's how they did it in the new 2020 CBA. But before that, I'll try to look it up real quick. But I can't remember exactly when the dates were.
Let me ask you this: do you think it's affecting the Cowboys' free agency at all? Do you think they're waiting for that after? Because I know there's a lot of players that are. There's a lot of these older guys that are like, I'm not even worried about a contract or talking to anybody until after the draft.
I don't think it affects them. I don't think we're just not really aggressive in free agency. I do think that somebody could be a surprise cut after June 1. That they, because right now there's not. I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe there is a guy out there right now that they want, but they don't want it counted against their comp pick formula.
That's what I'm saying.
They
do like their.
But
comps.
Looking at the free agency, I can't name one. I know a lot of people talk about Sherman.
Sure.
But I don't think Sherman would play for Jerry Jones. I'm not going to get political.
Either.
The last year, he called him out with all the Black Matters movement stuff, and that Jerry should have spoke about it, and I just don't think he would. Now money talks. If he gave him enough money, they could convince him. But I don't think the Cowboys are going to pay that much. So, but yeah, you could be right. I mean, that there could be somebody out there that they're just waiting to sign. And another thing is June 1 cuts are coming.
Yeah.
So there's always some surprise cuts there. But anyways, prior to the 2015, the date was June 1st. It came on the same date as the cuts. This is for the comp pick formula, and it doesn't count. And from 2015 to 2019, the date was the second Tuesday after the draft. Then last year they changed it to the first Monday after the draft.
We're all the way back.
But anyways, that's that.
That is that.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the free agents out there right now, and I can't think of one. They're just waiting to sign the guy so it won't count against the.
I have to feel like they have a corner in mind because we're not deep at corner. Why are we not getting a corner? Why didn't we get a corner? What's going on with corner? What are your thoughts?
I don't think they want to pay for one.
So
I mean, I think it's that simple.
The pick.
just like I said earlier, they know if they're going to get a corner, especially a corner that's going to make a difference, first wave, one of them younger guys, they're going to have to pay out their yin-yang to get it done. And Cowboys don't want to do that. And all the fans that are screaming, I like to take a poll on this, or an honest poll. All the ones that scream and cry about the Cowboys not spending big time in free agency and not going out and getting a corner right now, I'm wondering how many of them used to bitch and cry about how much Carr was making and how he wasn't good enough. Because that's what's going to happen. I mean, that's how, as a fan base, that's how we are. Oh, we want a corner. Go. Oh, we're paying him. That's fine. Overpay. I don't care. But as soon as he's not as good as you think he should, then it's like, whoop, you turn.
And again, I really think scheme was a big part of the decline last year. I really think, because you saw a decline at every level. You saw the D-line decline. You saw the linebackers decline. It wasn't.
But I put my pushback.
Injuries and stuff.
My pushback always with that was, if we was great in 2019, like if we had went from 2018 to 2019, either stay the same level or it got better in 2019, then I was like, yeah, scheme is going to change everything. But we declined. We actually started declining in 2018. The last half of the 2018 season wasn't as good as the first half. We started seeing holes in our run defense against Indy that year. It slowly led up to like, man, something's wrong here. And then fucking Rams just ran all over us. And then that bled into 2019. We was not as good in 2019 on defense as we was in 2018. And that was the same system. We was not as good in 2020 as we was in 2019. It's been a 3-year decline.
I guess
not a big decline.
Yeah.
There was more of a decline last year. Yes, the scheme. Yeah. I'm not saying the scheme had nothing to do with it. Scheme just made it worse than it would have been already. But we had decline from 2018 to 2019. So I'm not going to blame it all on the scheme. So
I feel like in 2018 that was the year of the Wolfpack. And
we started off good.
It seemed like it was.
They was the reason that we was 3-3 at one point when we was fucking didn't have no wide receivers.
Yeah,
they kept us in games, and then that New Orleans game put us on the map. That put us way up there. We shut Drew Brees and them to, I think, 10 points. I think that's what we shut him down to that game, 13-10, some crazy shit like that. So that's what put us on the map. But if you remember, it was just slowly. We wasn't as good late in the season as we was early in the season. We was fucking horrible against the Rams. Absolutely horrible. And if you go back to the Seattle game, and I said it then, and Seattle fans were saying it too, if Seattle wasn't so stubborn of fucking established a run, we would not have beat Seattle. Russ was fucking killing us every time they tried to pass the ball. What was weird that game was we was actually stopping their run. It's like we focused in on we're not going to let them run on us. And probably because that's all they did. That's how their offense runs. And Seattle never pulled out of that philosophy. They kept running the ball. And I was like, why they, in my mind, as a Cowboy fan, I'm like, I'm glad they're not passing it, but I don't understand why they keep trying to run the ball because it was not working. But every time Russ fucking threw the ball, he connected. And that's why a lot of Seattle fans was pissed off about. It's like, why did you continue to run the ball in the fourth quarter when you're losing and they're obviously not letting you run the ball?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I said, and then the Rams game, that was embarrassing. But no, scheme will help. There's no doubt scheme will help. And we talked about this before the season started. About 3-4, me and you talked about 3-4-4-3, and I was like, we can't run a 3-4. We ain't got the personnel to run a 3-4. And leading up all the way up to the season, Mike McCarthy kept saying we're a 4-man down lineman. We're not a base defense. We're a sub-package defense, sub-base defense. To lead you to believe it's going to be a 4-3,
Yeah.
And we come out the first fucking game, first fucking play, and we're in a 3-4. And I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? And then they ended up having to switch it as the season went on. We ran more.
It was kind of like a hybrid deal. It was just.
There is no strictly 4-3 and 3-4 defense anymore. It's a lot of hybrid shit. But I'm just saying that was a lot of 3-4 principles, and we did not have the defense to run. We didn't have the personnel personnel to fucking run that. And we tried anyways.
I just feel like Nolan had him on some fucking different reads, man. I don't know what, you look at some of the tape and you're just like, what the fuck is this player right here thinking? I think I saw something on Twitter of it was a run. We were playing Cleveland.
That was Jalen Smith.
Yeah, Jalen gets swallowed up. But that wasn't even what I was looking at. What I was looking at was the safeties. And Wilson, so if you're looking from the defensive perspective, I wish I had the video pulled up.
I know which one you're talking about, though.
So from the all-22, it's a run. If you're looking from the defensive side of the ball, it's a run to the left with Chubb. And the entire defensive line gets swallowed up. They all get reached. Jalen gets swallowed up. I can't remember if it was who the backside backer was. 44, I think. Joe Thomas, I think it was, or 48.
45,
Anyways,
48. Yeah, I know
something
what you're
like
talking
that.
about.
Anyways, but you look at in the backfield, and Woods is lined up on the left hash, and Wilson's lined up on the right hash. As soon as the ball snapped, it looks like they gave a cover 2 look, but then slid to a cover 1 deal because Woods is bailing immediately
Woods,
offline. And he's not even looking in the background. It looks like he's looking at the quarterback.
He's looking at the quarterback. That's what I was just about to say. He looks like he's reading the quarterback for a fucking rollout, like a play action,
rollout,
a bootleg rollout. Because he's looking at the quarterback, and you see him kind of spinning in the quarterback, and even until he knows the quarterback doesn't have the ball is when he looks at the runner. And by then it's too late.
Is that on him? Or is that on scheme?
When I first saw it, I thought the same. When I first saw it, I thought the same as you.
Because they were dogging him. They were dogging Woods on this play, and I'm like, well,
yeah, they're saying
that's
the difference between him and Wilson. They were saying, look how Wilson attacks the ball. And my thing was, and this is a bad thing about breaking down film, and when I used to always do it.
You don't
if you don't know exactly what the call is or what you can guess. You can guess if it's cover 2 or cover 3 cloud or what. You can guess okay, this is what's supposed to happen. This is what typically happens, but you don't know if exactly that's what they were supposed to do. So I don't know if Wilson was supposed to attack or he was. Well, I mean, he was a free safety, or if his job was to go back in case it was a rollout
or something.
Because and then Wilson does what he's supposed to do, strong safety, attack the ball. But I think Woods. I don't think Woods exactly. I don't know. It could have been confusion. It could have been he don't know what.
I think it is confusion, and I think it was exasperating. But towards the end of the season, I think that guy. I mean, we saw it. He gave up.
Yeah, well, that's what I was about to say. My problem wasn't where he was at. My problem was.
I'm not giving.
Yeah, my problem wasn't where he was at or how he. Yeah, I wasn't. I didn't have a problem with where he was at, or what he. My problem was how he reacted after he knew the ball was there. He gave fucking hardly any effort.
Yeah.
He saw the ball. When he saw the ball, he just kind of grabbed the guy and just was kind of holding him up and sitting there. That's what I have a problem with. And Woods did that way too much last year. And he admitted to it that he doesn't go 100% every play. And I'm like, right. I understand that. I didn't play anything past high school football. But I do understand that it's not balls out every play.
Right.
But the plays, some specific plays that we saw that people was talking about, it should have been balls out on them plays.
Sure.
And as a player, you cannot get in front of a fucking microphone and tell your fan base and tell everybody, I don't give 100% on every play. That's one of those. Because there's a lot of people who don't understand. Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't understand what he meant. Because I think what he meant was just what I said. I mean, you're not going to, like, if you're all the way across the field and the ball's way over there and you got 10 fucking guys running, you're probably jogging.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're not, that part of it I understand, but the plays that was in question on him.
But you don't need to say that at a press conference.
Yeah, that's a true statement, and if you're going to say it, explain it. I mean, like, give some context with it so they'd understand. Like, look, I'm not saying I don't, you don't give effort. I'm just saying if the guy's 50 yards away from me and there's 10 guys running him, I'm not running a 4.340 trying to go over there and get him, and I understand that. But yeah, that was a bad look. That was just, and I said it back then, and I'm like, I understand what he was saying, but it's just some things are better left unsaid, there's a lot of things I want to say that I have to bite my tongue on.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like I said, I think the defensive scheme will help because it's going to fit our players.
Yeah.
And I think it'll help everybody. I think it'll help our defensive line. I think it'll help our linebackers. I think it'll help our defensive backs. I think it'll help everybody.
I think the entire defense is going to see a little uptick. And we quietly upgraded at a couple positions. A lot of people don't think that Urban or Watkins or those guys are going to contribute, but both of them are run-stuffing, fat guys. I think they have Watkins as a defensive end, but Urban is definitely a run-stopper. And he was, I don't know what you guys think about PFF, but he was graded highly.
He'll play.
I think he was second in the league.
He'll play inside with us. Yeah, he was. He'll play inside with us. He won't play defense. I'm not saying he won't never line up at defensive end.
Yeah.
I'm just saying for the most part he's going to be a defensive tackle for us.
Yeah.
But
you've got Gallimore, you've got Hill, so you've got your threes. Woods needs to, have another decent year, and hopefully you get some help from Urban at that one spot.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think we'll uptick on defense just because we're changing the scheme. And if you looked at last year, towards the end of the year, we weren't horrible. Now, some people would compare that because we was playing shitty teams. Okay, that's fine. But we're
going to play shitty teams
we
every
played
year.
some shitty teams. Yeah, we played some shitty teams early in the year too, and we didn't look good. So I think we're improved. I think we're improved just from the change of the defensive scheme.
I think we were
How
ranked
much
11th in
that's
passing
yet to be
defense,
seen.
which is another reason why I don't take.
Yeah,
Quarterback
we
10.
wasn't horrible. I don't know.
How are you
I
gonna-
don't know. You
lot
going
of people-
you going DVOA or you going total yards?
Total yards. I mean, that's what
Total yards.
That's what. Yeah.
I
it's
can't.
not
I've
gonna
looked
tell
up.
the
I
whole
looked it
story,
up a
but-
while back. Yeah, I looked it
We
up a
weren't
while
terrible.
back on. No, we wasn't horrible. We was turning the ball over to a lot. Now that does have a lot to do with shitty quarterback play. That helped
Yeah.
us with that because some of them wasn't that we was playing such badass defense and breaking on balls. Some was just some horrible fucking throwing balls that helped us out a lot.
We were top 5 in forced fumbles.
Yeah,
top 5.
Yeah, yeah. Like I
Turnovers
said, we improved.
clean that defense right up.
That's what Cowboy
give us
Stats and
another
Graphs
drive?
on yeah, Cowboy Stats and Graphs on Twitter. That's what he brought up the other day. That people have a misunderstanding of how we got better at the end of the year.
Yeah.
He was trying to make a claim that we was great. He just that it wasn't as bad as people thought. It's
Right.
and like I said, it's memory. It's when you're fucking bad for 2 or 3 games, people tend to forget that. And no matter what you do for the rest of the year, it's always a negative thing. If you give up one thing, this is what we do all the time. You might not do it for 5 fucking games. You might not give up a pass for 5 games. But as soon as you do, see, that's why. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. But no, yeah, but at the end of the day, yes, we got to improve on defense. I'm not trying to, anybody listening, I'm not trying to make it out our defense is fine. We're going to
Being
fucking
pro
be top
Pitts
10 and we're
doesn't
going to
mean
roll.
you're anti-defense. A pro Pitts,
No,
a pro
I just-
weapon, a
it
pro
means-
tackle, or it's just
I'll go back to this. There's not a defensive player in this draft that's going to make us a top 10 or top 15 defense. Not one. And very seldom will there be. Very seldom are you one player away to making your defense top 10 defense, top 5 defense, or even your team, unless it's a quarterback. So, if we
they
draft
just don't
picks, we
translate
still
as
have
quickly.
9. No, we still have 9 picks left to fix the defense. 9. That one player, that Surtain or that Horn, is not going to be a make or break like that. We can still fix the defense and take Pitts at 10. That is a possible thing. There's 9 picks left. If you can't fix your defense in 9 picks, then you have fucking issues anyways. And,
Plus the
that
rest are
Horn and
free agents.
Surtain definitely. Yeah. No. So no, I'm not worried about it. I'm good with Pitts and us fixing our defense and.
And 9 picks doesn't mean 9 players, because I don't think 9 players are making the team. But
No,
if
yeah, you
get
can
like
always
4 or
trade up,
5
get
in
rid of some of
top
the players.
100, yeah, you get some guys that are come in, start right away, or contribute a good amount right away. That's how you do
The
it.
only reason I like 9 picks, and that's why I don't like trading up, is because it gives you a better percentage to hit. If you draft 5 players, you draft 10 players, that's an extra 5 players you have a chance of hitting on. That's maybe your first 2 aren't that good, but them last 2 that you picked in 6th, 7th round, they come out of nowhere. You can't depend on that. I'm just saying, the more picks you have, the better chance. I mean, Jimmy Johnson built a team with the fucking 999 picks. That's how he built that team.
Yeah,
I mean, now what he did do is he was good at hitting on them. But what people will have to go back and look, he didn't hit on all of them.
no.
But he had so many, his percentages was going to be good. I mean, he had a good chance of hitting on them because, hell, he had so many. So, no, I believe in getting as many picks. But if there's a player there that's just valuable, that you see, that's just dropping, you're like, we got to have this guy, then by all means. Like I said, Dez. When Dez was dropping, I remember watching that draft, I'm like, fuck it, trade up for him. When he dropped to a certain point, I was okay with it. I'm like, fuck it, trade, because at that time, we did not have a number 1 wide receiver. We had Nuts. Austin had just came off a great year in 2009, but, I didn't know how. I didn't think that was going to be a sustainable thing. So I wanted Dez. You know, I thought we needed Dez, and his value was real good at that time, at that spot. So yeah, I was all for trading up. You know, Mo was not for that. That was I did not think we needed him that fucking bad, that we had to give up what we gave up to go up. But yeah, no, if the player's falling, you know, I don't even mind trading back up in the first round. You know, and giving up, you know, if there's that one player that just, you know, you're looking at it like, shit, we got to have him, then fuck it. Go for it. You know, use some of them picks. You got 9, use some of them, move back up, and get your guy. I don't have a problem with that.
Do they do that, though? I don't know. I don't trust them.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it just depends. I mean, they did it for Mo. They did it for D-Law. They moved up for D-Law.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah, it's always possible.
You think they would?
Like I said, if they do it, that guy has to work. I mean, that if you value him that much that you're going to give up multiple picks for him, then you better hope he works, because you just gave up multiple players to get one.
Yeah. Would you give up future picks?
Oh, I'd much rather give up future picks than the picks right now.
And on the chance that they're going to be a lot higher, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Right. I mean, we got a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you give up a top 10 second round pick, you make the playoffs, but you just gave them like a 23rd, 24th pick. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, see what I'm saying? Yeah, no, I'd much rather give it. You know, if we suck and something happens and we go 1-15, then we're like, fuck, I wish we had that pick. You know, but that'd be hindsight.
I saw one crazy. I think someone from PFF did it or something. They ended up getting Pitts and Surtain. That would just shut everybody. We'd all be friends again.
In one draft, they got both of them.
One of them, I think they
one of them must have dropped.
Yeah, it's
and they traded back up and get him
or something. Yeah.
I did that the other night on PFF.
Yeah,
if you saw my once,
around with that shit.
I got Horn, I think, at 22. I traded back. I think it was 23, maybe it was 17. It was at least 17. I traded back.
Yeah.
And when I did, Horn was still there, and I'm like, fuck yes. Then I traded back up to get Collins.
Let's talk about that for a second. I'm less and less on board with trading back, because I think there is that tier of people that are around that 10 spot that we would lose out unless it's like a couple spots, but then that's, division rival. I don't think they're going to trade. Well, Philly would love to go up, right? But
yeah, but who are you going to get fucking Philly to?
Who's going to come up? You look at the teams who would come up, and they'd likely come up for a quarterback at that spot. Maybe New England. And why wouldn't at 10? Why would they just not just sit and wait for one if they were going to grab one? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not on board with trading back anymore. You're risking.
I would not trade back. I would not trade back pre-draft. Yeah, I wouldn't trade back pre-draft. I mean, but at the night of the draft,
I got you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would never do that. Now unless I'm picking high,
Philly,
like Philly did or like Miami did. If you're picking that high and you know you can trade back and you're kind of open to taking anybody, you don't have a specific spot.
Yeah,
I get it. And even with Dallas, in some ways, I can see them doing it pre-draft. I wouldn't want them to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd wait. I would want, me personally as a fan, I'd rather wait and let them do it during the draft. Like if you get to 10 and your board is like shit, you're not gonna. There's somehow Horn gets taken. Somehow Patrick Surtain gets taken.
It's mathematically possible, but even with the if say only 3 quarterbacks went, that's still 3 receivers, 6, 2 tackles, 7, 8, 2 corners, and Pitts. I don't think it's mathematically possible.
Well, this is my thing.
11 people.
Why I say it's mathematically possible, I'm agreed that all of them are going to be there, or not all of them, but most of them.
Cowboys don't.
I'm taking out the chance, any chance, that if Waddle's there, Smith is there, we're not taking them. That's my opinion on what the Cowboys do. Not mine. Me, I'm all for Waddle.
Yeah.
So Chase is going to be gone, Pitts could be gone, and the 2 cornerbacks could be gone. That's 4 plus, say, 3 quarterbacks. That's 8. That leaves somebody else. If it's 5 quarterbacks, them could logically be the picks, and we could get there, and it could be Sewell and Slater, or just one of them with the 2 wide receivers. But then I think we'd go. Then I still think we'd go tackle. That's why I still don't think we'd trade back. Not too far. I don't know. There's so many. Like, that's why I did so many fucking mocks the other day.
Oh yeah, you get
The other
lost
night,
in shit.
I was bored. I was bored. And there was so much shit that happened in each one in so many different scenarios. I'm like, damn, what the fuck do I do here? Should I trade back? Because there were some people wanting to trade up to 10. So, yeah, I mean, there's so much shit that could happen. I mean, because they don't know. Most time you know how many quarterbacks are going to go in the top 10, top 3, top 5. Right now, it could be anywhere from 3 to fucking 5.
Yeah.
I mean, it could literally be 3. It could be Lawrence, Wilson, and whoever San Francisco takes, and then you don't really know.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know. But I would say if Fields dropped to Carolina.
If Mac Jones goes 3, Fields is definitely coming off the board soon.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. That's another thing I say. If San Francisco takes Mac Jones, it will not fuck the draft up bad, but it would be more wild.
Greatest thing. Yes.
Yeah, it would be more wild than it would be if they kind of go chalk and stick with Fields or stick with even Trey Lance, because then you just have Mac Jones, and I think it takes one team to like Mac Jones. You know what I'm saying? I might be wrong. Maybe everybody in the NFL does. There's different reports, but I think he's more specific team. I think some of the other guys, I think there's just more teams that would be willing to do more with them. You know, I don't think nobody's trading up for Mac Jones. Although I heard today that fucking New England is waiting, and if Mac Jones doesn't go, if he don't go 3, New England's going to trade up for Mac Jones.
I love it.
But think about it. Everybody's they comparing to Brady. Well, he wants him because he's like Brady. You know, he can do the same things Brady did. He's built like Brady coming out of college. You know, kind of had all the fucking, you know, not a big guy, not a strong arm guy, just pocket guy, not a lot of athletic ability. And I'm like, dude, man, y'all can't do that to this kid. You know, because, I mean, you know, and you can't pigeonhole fucking Bill Belichick and thinking just because he had Brady for 20 years, he wants exactly that. And right, Belichick knows he can't depend on that fucking getting Brady from fucking Mac Jones. That Mac Jones is going to mysteriously turn into fucking the GOAT.
This is the mastermind that everybody's dubbed the GOAT for the last 20 years, and now all of a sudden he got stupid? Come on.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No, yeah, that's why I don't know. But
I love, people think I love the idea of someone behind us coming in to get a quarterback, because that removes teams in front of us of taking a Pitts or a Chase or something like that. Yeah. And you know they're moving up to get a quarterback. They're not moving up to get any of those guys. Maybe Pitts, maybe. I don't know. I would do it. I'd go to 8. I'd go to 7.
Well, Bill Belichick
go to 4, man.
Belichick and Saban are good friends. So there's always that too. So you know Saban's talked to Belichick about Jones. So maybe there is something. Maybe they will make that trade. I don't know. But I'm with you. I hope 5 go. I hope 5 go before pick 10. I hope 5 go from pick 1 to pick 9. I hope 5 go.
It's a wonderful problem.
And that way, that means there's a lot of talent that just that fell into our laps. And then that way, even if we didn't take Pitts and Pitts was one of them, I won't be upset. You know, if we get a Sewell, if we get a Slater, if we got a Waddle, if we got a Surtain, if we got a Horn, even though I think they're kind of borderline and I'm not really real high on picking a defensive player in this draft at 10, I'll be okay. Now, what would really piss me off and where I would lose my shit live on there, because anybody listening, we already going live on the first round night, I will throw my fucking laptop out the window if we go fucking Parsons.
If
we come out of nowhere. Yeah, basically anybody. Yeah, anybody besides them guys I just mentioned. Dude, I will lose my shit over that. If we take an off the ball linebacker at fucking 10, dude, you see some tears at first. And then you see my laptop. You see my camera just going out the door. You be like, Charlie, where you at?
He was one of the ones that I heard first going ahead of us. And then
oh no, there's many mocks that has him ahead of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
I've seen ones that
crazy to me.
I've seen I've seen ones where Surtain and Horn both go before we pick. They both go in the top 10.
Let's go. That's fucking.
So there's some crazy shit that can happen. You know, it's wild. It's weird because it's been a while since we had a top 10 pick, which was 2015. That was actually top 5 pick. Like picking like later in the draft, it's like, you know, it's different because there's so much shit that can happen before us. I'm more relaxed, like, I don't know. Yeah, it might happen. But this one, man, it's like hard to figure out. I'm like, damn, all kinds of wild shit can happen. Because usually by 17, 18, 19, everything's kind of settled down. You know,
Yeah.
But now top 10, some crazy shit can happen in the top 10. So no Joko at 10? Fuck no, dude. No. No off the line. It's not going to get... JOK is my top linebacker in the draft. That's who, if we was to draft one, not at 10, but if we was to draft one, if like say we fell back in the draft, and, well, no, I wouldn't like that either because it'd still be first round. But if we was going to make a mistake, JOK with the middle linebacker or with the, not middle linebacker, off the ball linebacker, JOK would be my guy. I got him rated higher than Parsons.
Is he though? He seems like more of like an outside.
He
guy.
could be a safety. Yeah, he's going to be.
He could be a safety.
I like him over.
He's kind of like a Neal.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. But he's coming in as a linebacker, so I have him as my top rated linebacker. I have him above Parsons. I'm not. Yeah. But yeah, no. So don't think I'm saying I don't like JOK because he's my guy, but I don't believe in taking off the ball. I don't believe in taking off the ball linebackers in the first round unless they're just special and you think they're going to be special. And I made the mistake with Leighton, thinking he was special. You know, 6'5", 250, runs whatever he ran, 4.5, whatever he ran. He ran good for a big guy. You know, I'm like, yes. You know. Then I went against another one. Yeah. Then I went against another one of my rules with him. Don't draft injured players. I went against 2 major rules I have. Don't draft off the ball linebackers. Damn, I'm not talking good today. And don't draft injured players. He was fucking both. And I stood on a hill and fucking argued for him. And I died on that hill, and I'm rolling down it steadily for the past 3 years.
I don't know. You might be still dying at the top. I'm still hoping that he can turn it around.
Oh, no. I ain't dying. I'm alive and standing on the hill and fucking saying, fuck y'all, still standing on that hill.
Because if you look back at these injuries, man, they're kind of freak injuries. Now, I know the neck. I get the neck. I get it. But the other two, getting rolled up on, can happen to anybody. Especially if you're playing this guy inside so much. He shouldn't be inside. Now, you're kind of forced into that because drop foot can't play anywhere. But for me, he should be the will linebacker. And I think he could still do it. He's not going to see those big collisions that see a broken collarbone. Because he had someone coming off a block, somebody draped on him into the tackle with somebody on the back of that ball carrier. It was just like a double boom, just an awkward freak looking deal. I don't think he's as Sean Lee-ish as most people think. I don't. But we'll see, right?
I look at it. He started less games
in
his first 3 years than Sean Lee did.
I agree for different reasons, right?
Yes, for different reasons.
And if you look at the injury,
and I will ask anybody, they're a lot different, but I would ask anybody, have you ever seen a player that in his first 3 years, first 4 years, first 5 years, or any point in his career that goes through a 5-year fucking span or 3-year span of always being injured, mysteriously just stops getting injured and becomes fucking healthy and he's great? I never seen it. And I don't agree with everything, but
I'm sure there's somebody's out there. Somebody's out there.
Well, I'm asking you, but I'm just saying I've asked many people that, and nobody's ever been able to give me an example of somebody who just was injured, and just all of a sudden just like, whoop, I'm healthy, and had a fucking 10-year run of great fucking football.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
I can't think of anybody.
It's kind of like one of them things, man. It's just some people. Sometimes I don't know if it's a bone problem or if it's a calcium problem or if it's just bad luck. But it seems like when you're injured, You just find a way to get fucking injured. It's just it, and I can't explain it. You know, if you're a godly man, maybe it's God telling you something. If you're not, maybe if you're not a godly man, then it's the universe trying to tell you something. Whatever you think, but for some reason, it just seems like once you start getting injured, that shit just doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop. You know, I mean, whether it's broken, you know, I know broken bones are different soft tissue, but if you break a bone, then you break another bone, then you break another bone. Well, fuck, man, what's wrong with your bones? You keep breaking bones, you know? I mean, after a little while, you got to start questioning your milk intake or something.
You need some milk.
You need some milk.
All right, let's get to the last topic you wanted to talk about today, Dak's ankle.
Oh, Dak's ankle. I forgot all about Dak's ankle.
This is something you brought up, so I'm going to let you go ahead and run with this.
No, yeah. The thing about it is, it fucking irritates the shit out of me. People do this shit all the time. They get a picture of Dak, and the first thing they do is get a fucking goddamn close-up on his ankle and start saying, well, it looks swollen to me. Well, let me explain something to you, and I got a little experience in this shit. Your ankle, 5 months after your injury, an injury like that where your fucking bone breaks and it pops the fuck out of your leg, it doesn't just mysteriously 5 months later look like the other one. All right, and technically, it will never look like the other one. I mean, a fucking bone came out of it, so there's going to be a little bit of a different look. As far as the swelling goes, 5 months after your injury, you're going to still have swelling. And I'm not saying this is going to happen.
Especially if you're as active as he has been.
Yes, because when you're on it,
he's on it every day.
It's going to swell. It's just kind of how it is.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this. I'm not predicting this. I'm just saying this is possible. He could have swelling in that bone, in that area, for the rest of his life. It's not a big issue. It's not a game changer. It's not. He can't play football anymore. It's just something that he'll have to come in every Monday, fucking get it worked on, get it massaged, get it stretched. I can show you all the stretches you want because I've done all of them. You know, you can get it stretched and shit like that, get it massaged, put ice on it. Going to be a lot of ice, a lot of heat, you know. And then by Wednesday, it'll be fine, and he'll go out there. It's something that he might have to take care of and constantly keep the swelling off every day. Like when he goes to practice. He practices. He stands on it for long enough. It swells up a little bit. He has to get a little bit of treatment on it. And that's not just Dak's injury. That's a lot of injuries. I think people would, I've never been in an NFL locker room, but I'm just saying I think people would be surprised on Monday after the games, if you went into a training room, how many fucking guys' legs and knees and ankles, fucking wrists, elbows, how big they are from swelling. Because it's form of injuries. You know, elbow surgery, knee surgery. Anytime your body gets cut on, it changes. From that point on, your body part is not always, but typically it's going to change a little bit. You know, especially if you're on it and you use it like a football player does.
Right.
You know? I mean, like mine. Mine's naturally swollen. My ankle's naturally swollen because I got what they call a widened ankle. So it's because how my fibula healed. I ain't explaining all that. But the more I'm on it, like if I mow the yard, the more I'm on it, that motherfucker blows up like a balloon.
Sure.
I mean, big, to a point where I can't walk. And mine was worse than Dak, so I'm not saying that's going to be a Dak issue. It's not going to be a Dak issue. What Dak does now, ain't no fucking way I could ever do that again.
Right.
You know, not that I could ever do that before, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, I can't do that no matter what, just because, again, my shit was a lot more fucked up than Dak's. But my point was, my shit 5 years later still swells up. You know, it's just kind of how it is. It's just, you know, it's something that he might have to deal with. My guess, he's not. My guess is just it's 5 months after the injury. But like I said, it's not a big deal. Even if he has to deal with it, a little swelling here and there. Like I said, when your bone pops out of your skin and they got to put it back and plate it and screw it and whatever pins, however they did is, it's a natural thing for you to have issues with it, to have swelling issues with it. It's not unnatural. Just kind of how your fucking body works. You know, it's just not a big deal. And stop fucking judging on pictures. Don't start telling. And in that fucking video of him throwing the football, oh well, he ain't pushing off on his back leg. Well, motherfucker, he's throwing a screen pass to a wide receiver. He's not supposed to. I mean, that was a whole part of that play is just fucking get the ball and getting it out as quick as he can.
Yeah,
you're not supposed to get back in a quarterback stand. Yeah, I mean, because he comes back, he goes to the side and throws it. Well, that's because it's a wide receiver screen pass. You're not supposed to get back and get in a perfect perfect throwing motion. You got to get it the fuck out of your hands quick. So no, there was not. I mean, I don't know. It's just plus it's 5 months, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 5 months. He's not gonna. I mean, he's not. If we had to play a game tomorrow, he couldn't play, and he'll tell you that. He's already said that. He'll be ready when it's time to go.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like I said, it's 5 months.
The stuff
Well,
that
December
I've looked for
was December. It wasn't even 5 months. December was his second surgery, right? Yeah, December. So
Yeah.
January, February, March, April. It's been 4 months since his last surgery. That he had a bone come the fuck out of his leg, out of his ankle, and it dislocated it. And people are worried that 4 months after that, he's walking without a fucking boot. He's running. He's throwing the fucking ball, lifting weights, and they're worried because his ankle's fucking swollen. Well, fuck yeah, dipshit.
Fucking no
It's going to be
shit.
swollen. The fuck you expect? You know, and like I said, even if we find out September there's a picture taken, oh, it's still swollen. Well, yes, it might be that way. There's something that he might have to deal with. You know, it might be something he has to ice and keep ice. You know, or wear a compression
a
sock.
little ankle brace on or something.
Wear a compression sock. That's what I do. Like
Yeah.
if I don't wear my compression sock, that's how I lasted that one job as long as I did. Was because I wore my compression sock and it keeps the swelling down. I used to wear it all the time. I probably should start wearing it again. But like when I mow the yard or something,
support too.
yeah, it squeezes it in. Just keeps it doesn't let your fucking it doesn't let your.
But that
ankle
right
swell.
there would make your ankle look bigger than the other one if you didn't have a compression sock on the other leg.
Yeah, exactly. If he wore a compression sock, you couldn't see it. Well, if he wore a compression sock and he took the sock off, his ankle would be the same size as his other ankle once he took the sock, because it keeps the swelling down. Or if it wasn't the same size, it'd be maybe slightly bigger, but
Yeah.
not too much fucking bigger. But yeah, no, I just wanted to touch on that and tell all the dipshits out there, in case one of y'all listening, stop looking at fucking pictures and trying to judge somebody's fucking bone structure off a fucking picture. It's fucking stupid. You know?
All the little clips
Plus-
and videos I've seen, the range of motion is good. He's doing all the activities that I want to see him do. He's backpedaling. He's cutting. He's
Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones don't like giving out money. You know, at least not to good players. They don't mind giving it out to people like fucking Zeke and fucking dumb shit on defense. But they don't want to give out that much money, and they're not going to give it out to a guy that they don't know if it's going to be able to play again, or he might not even be the same. You know, he's like I said, he's way ahead of schedule, or actually probably right on line with schedule. You know, I just think people underestimate. I think people did two things. I think they overestimated the injury when it happened, thought his career was over with. When I saw it, I'm like, yeah, fucking bone out of your body. I had two come out of my body. He'll be fine. You know, I never really thought too much about it. You know, and plus Alex Smith had similar injury I did, and that motherfucker came back. You know, so I was like, yeah, Dak be fine. You know, but I knew he had a long road ahead of him. You know, and then since it is healed and he is playing, I think people are overreacting to what he can't do. It's like, just slow it down, dude. You know, he'll be fine. You know, I never doubted him for a second. Like I said, some of it because I had experience with a shitload worse injury. Someday I'll fucking put it on layout and show my broken bones and the fucking holes in my leg and let y'all see what I dealt with. And I promise you.
I've actually got a couple of Daks X-rays downloaded. I don't have them up here in the studio.
Oh, did Dak get an X-ray? I didn't even see his X-ray. Probably because I was so
Googled
fucking
some
sad.
images.
Yeah, I was, dude.
got
When he
some
got hurt,
things.
I ain't gonna lie to you. When he got hurt, I didn't talk. I didn't get on the internet. I was just like,
Yeah.
fucking season's over with, dude.
That was
I did get on the internet for this, though.
yeah.
When Romo went down in 2015, I had people that kept telling me, oh, no big deal, we got this. And I told everybody, listen, fuckers, the season's over with. Pack your bags. It's done. Them two dipshits that we got on the sideline, even though Jerry Jones said he threw the prettiest ball he've ever seen, we are not winning with them guys off the field. You know, and sure enough, we sucked for the rest of the year. It was horrible.
Yeah.
So when Dak went down, I did want somebody to tell me, oh, yeah, Red Rifle, we got this, because I was going to fucking destroy that person. But nobody said that. Everybody's pretty collectively agreed, like, yeah, we're probably.
Yeah.
You know, most people was like, well, we wasn't winning with the Dak anyways, which was true. But
What if
without
we
Dak, you have no chance to win.
On the way to 2-3, though.
Yeah.
And who knows from there? Everything's.
That's how I look at it. You have to admit, not you, but you in general, but I have to admit, Dak's a better fucking quarterback than Andy Dalton. All right? So just go through the fucking schedule of the games that we lost against Arizona. I think we might win that one. Against Pittsburgh, we win that one. You know, against Washington, I'm not so sure we don't sweep them.
Yeah.
I even
They
with
beat
that
us big, 40-something to 17 or something. Like that.
but that game, but not till the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, that game, like for 3.5 quarters, we was right there with them, and everything just fucking fell apart. And in the first game, Andy Dalton got hurt and had to go out. You know, and they still didn't kick the shit out of us. You know, our offense just couldn't move the ball, it couldn't do anything. You know, so I think we at least split with them. All right, we beat Philadelphia the first time, so we sweep Philadelphia. You know, so right there, that's just add another 4 wins to our fucking game. I mean, that's why we'd won that division.
Handily.
I'm sorry, I'm burping. I didn't forget what I was trying to say. Damn, acid reflux. But yeah, no, I think we go 9-7, 10-6.
Yeah.
And I think we're in the playoffs, and I think we have who we play fucking Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Then ain't that who Washington played the first game, right?
Yeah.
Yep, that's who we would have got. We would have got Tampa Bay.
Boy, they really came.
Think about that.
Didn't
Tom Brady needs to fucking call Dak Prescott and say thank you.
they?
Thank you for getting hurt, because we would never been in the fucking Super Bowl, because we would have got beat by y'all. That's my fucking prediction. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. Y'all can't prove me wrong. But yeah, I mean, I do think we had a better chance of beating them than fucking Washington did if we had Dak.
Sure. Of course.
You know. But yeah, that's the only thing I want to touch on Dak. Plus, I just love talking about Dak. Every time I say Dak, it just gets me all warm inside. So anytime I can bring up Dak on a podcast.
We're at the hour and a half mark here.
No shit, we go an hour and a half?
Yeah. Longest podcast since yet.
We went 45 minutes. We went an hour and 5 minutes, and now an hour and a half. Our next show will be like 2.5 hours. Actually, it might be if we don't go live again to the draft.
Draft, yeah.
We're going to try to go live again next week, y'all. May not, but we definitely on Thursday, draft night, we'll probably get on here. What time you say? It's 7 o'clock. You want to get on about 6 maybe. We'll decide, but it's probably going to be around 6 hour of bullshit time and, just talking shit. But it'll be for everybody else. Y'all come and talk.
Yeah.
We're not going to, we ain't going to be no prep for the show. I mean, there's nothing to prep for. We're just going to let the draft prep us. Like, whatever happens.
I've got a couple things to do as far as overlays that I've got some ideas on.
Yeah, so stuff like that. Yeah, little stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah, for the most part, we're just going to let the draft speak for us and talk about it after each pick. First couple picks should be pretty easy since we already know what it's going to be. That third pick is what I'm waiting on, because that's going to tell a lot about the draft. But
man, 1 through 9 is what I'm waiting on.
when I'm just saying 3, I'm saying that third pick because San Francisco takes Jones, or takes Fields, or takes Lance. That's going to change the whole structure of what everybody behind us is going to do, or ahead of us. I mean, but behind them, or hell, or even behind us. So it should be interesting. But anyways, hour and a half. We'll get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we'll get all that info out to everybody. Our personal handles are below our boxes. Facebook groups up on their top left corner. It's the same on YouTube. And catch us on at Dallas Cowboys U1 on Twitter. That's it. That's all I got. Signing off, man.
Later, y'all.
Appreciate it.